Child. Child. This episode. Oh my gosh. Hi. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner. And this is another episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 8, Episode 3. And this is called Heaven is a Place in Potomac. And child, let's come closer. Let's bring us closer here. The way Potomac is giving all the drama, and I still don't know how I feel about it, to be honest, because it seems way more manufactured than some of the other franchises. It's not as organic or organic as the Great Housewife Nene Leakes would say. So we'll see how things go. And I will share this disclaimer before I keep it pushing. If this season becomes a little too toxic, I'm going to not continue to review it. My channel, this is not only just a review channel for me, this is also a channel on health and wellness, both mentally, physically, spiritually. So I don't want no negative energy on this channel like that. So if it does get a little too toxic, it's no longer fun, I will stop reviewing. I don't know if I'm going to even continue to watch, to be honest, if it does get that bad, because I don't know how I feel about it. We'll just leave it at that. So, how I review this episode, I'm going to give it an 8. Yeah, an 8. Because I don't know. It just seems like we're seeing things happen, but I just don't like what I'm seeing. I'll just say that. I really don't like what's happening. So that's kind of why I had that disclaimer earlier on. But let's go into the review. So we pick up where we leave off at Ashley's party. And Wendy is, still explaining like what Osu is to Ashley. And that her and her family are not that. And it starts off there because it makes sense. This whole entire episode is very Wendy focused. And I don't really like how it is when it comes to how it's focused on Wendy. It's not in a positive way. Let's just put it that way. It's coming. Yeah, we'll just continue on. So while Ashley and Wendy are like still talking inside, the rest of the ladies are outside, and Mia does ask Robin how she's doing. Robin addresses her feelings about everything and basically echoes Juan's sentiments, saying that she doesn't care. She doesn't care how, what his behavior looks like. And I mean, she literally sounds like she's a puppet. She sounds like Juan's puppet because she literally is almost repeating verbatim what Juan said in this episode before. So, okay, whatever. If you don't care, we don't either. And I kind of don't care about it. I will say this. I want this storyline to go away. I really just wish, I don't even know if I even want Robin or Juan on the show at this point, because we're not getting anywhere with this. Robin is not the most interesting person anyway. So can we just be done with this whole entire Juan talk? I don't care. Just like you don't care, I don't either. That's where we're at with that. Anyway, and when she does explain that she doesn't care, she states how she had a conversation with Ashley and Shanice and Giselle about the whole thing. And yeah, anyway, Giselle thanks, Robin for her thoughts. And then Giselle does say, hey, Karen, I did mention to Karen how she owes you an apology. And Karen chimes in. She's like, I feel like you owe me an apology as well. And so being civil, which was great, Karen was like, hey, let's talk on the side. Let's, have a one-on-one conversation and talk it through about everything that happened. And so they do that. So we see everything that happened all last season. And they, Karen's just stating like, hey, we've always kind of never really solid for each other, like for as long as we've known each other. But last season, we kind of went below the belt last season, which is true. They were full on attacking each other last season, and it was a back and forth of attacking each other. And so, long story less long, they come with an agreement that they're not going to talk about each other, especially when it comes to rumors. We're only going to talk facts to each other, and yeah. And then basically, Karen does ask a couple follow-up questions that she wanted to know. She's like, are you on an open relationship or is it traditional? And also, are you guys legally married? Robin says, no, we're in a conventional relationship. And they are legally married. And then they kind of have a little minor bickering about who started this whole thing. And then they're just like, we're not going to agree on that. Let's just move on. And so that's how that pretty much ends. How I feel about this traditional relationship, I believe Robin, because I think Robin thinks she is in a traditional relationship. Now ask Juan the same question. There we go. And also, too, I should state this, a traditional relationship is not the same for everyone. So that's an interest. So you can say yes, but like my idea of a traditional relationship and your idea of a traditional relationship may not be the same. I know it's some semantics, but I just know how Robin is. She lives in the world of semantics. So, and at the end of the day, back to my original statement. I don't care. Just like you don't care, I don't care. I really don't. I probably, in most, for the rest of the season, until I see that scene where Robin was like on the curb crying, because I still want to know how that happened, I'm probably just going to brush over her scenes because she's not really giving anything. And really, she should have been fired from the show after she did what she did all last season. Or at least had to take a pause. Other housewives have done the similar things and they've either gotten fired for a season or they had to take a pause. And nothing happened with her. So there's that. Okay, so while this is happening, Wendy and Ashley go back to the table with the rest of the ladies. And so Ashley shares like, oh yeah, you were talking about how you have this show now that, Wendy's going to start this talk show. And she says, yeah, and Wendy's just sharing her thoughts. And this was a very tense conversation with Wendy and the ladies because it's very clear Wendy doesn't have any allies with this group that she's here with. Because Karen is talking, with Robin, and Karen's pretty much her only ally, So it just felt like Wendy was just outnumbered. So Wendy's energy was pretty much projecting that, kind of like more in the defense, explaining things versus being more natural. And I understood why, because it's like the rest of these ladies are not your friends. And like Mia just kept giving just these nasty looks every time Wendy was talking about things. And, the elephant in the room comes out. She's like, Wendy, Mia's like, you're so mean to me. Like being the victim was like, why would I be cool? And then Wendy's like, why would I be cool with you when you threw a drink at me and you never really apologized for that? You threw a drink at me, which is a form of assault. You assaulted me. I'm not going to be okay with you. You never apologized or took any accountability for that. Why would I apologize? And so she's trying to explain more about her show. And Ashley is kind of like shading her without trying. Like she's trying to. She knows what she's doing. Ashley knows what she's doing. She's like, sounds like the show is going to be over our head, you know? And Wendy's like, no, if you're on high vibration, it shouldn't be. But if you're on low vibration, it would be. Kind of just, saying it to Mia. She's paying Giselle complete dust because Giselle, this whole entire scene, her face is all screwed. Like, it's just like, we know you don't like Wendy, okay, Giselle? I'm sorry you don't like her because she is more intelligent than you and can clear you, and you can't take it. Like, anyway. So, I didn't really like this scene, to be honest, just because it really did feel like... I mean, Wendy cleared Mia and called her slow and everything else, and it was quite comical. Like, she just, cleared her. That was that on that. And... so then the ladies decide to disperse and all go inside because it seemed like it was kind of like muggy outside because I think before the party it was raining. So they all go inside. And while this is happening, Nneka and Robin discuss how she's dealing with the rumors in reference to her and Juan and managing her marriage. They're kind of just getting to know each other because Nneka doesn't know anyone in this group besides Ashley. At least that's what she says here. I want you to pay attention to what I said right there. And so while Nneka and Robin are talking, Deborah pops up trying to be seen. Like, she just goes into the frame trying to be seen, and it's just like, girl, why? I really just wish the producers would not let this girl film. She's just so thirsty. It's annoying. But anyway, so the rest of the group sits inside, and while everyone else sits inside, Wendy decides to invite Ashley to her daughter, to her family, her children's first communion in front of the rest of the group. But she didn't invite everyone else. She just invited Karen and Ashley. Everyone else she did not invite. And I mean, I see why she did that. But girl, that's some like when you go high, I go to, like when you go low, I go to hell. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? I'm sorry. Like, to me, that was looking for a moment, in my opinion. And I love, I love me some Wendy, but I did not like that. I didn't like that at all. Now they harken back to when that happened to Wendy, because like literally Robin did the exact same thing to her last season. But you don't take the play of people who are, but if you really feel that you are above some of these women, you can't go to their level like that. You got to do things with class. Like, so in my opinion, I thought it was just kind of tacky to do that in front of everyone. I get why you did that. I still just wouldn't have done it. I would have just came as unbothered and just like, and I think for her, she probably thought she was being unbothered, but it's just like, I don't know, manners wise, I'm not going to invite people to an occasion in front of everyone, in front of company that may not be invited. I don't care if like someone else did that to me. I wouldn't do it. That's just me. I still would have just, because you could have did that while you were still having your one-on-one with Ashley. And Karen, you already talked to Karen about it before. So really you should have did that. But it was good for the show, and I see why she did it. It added some drama. So I understood why she did it for the show purpose, but in real life, I wouldn't do that. Like, when it was tacky when Robin did it, it's tacky when you do it. It doesn't matter. Like, it's just tacky. Just don't do that. Anyway, next we have like mini montages of a whole bunch of scenes. So we see Candace in her 9-city tour, so showing a little bit of her tour life. which I would like to see more of. Bravo, like producers, can y'all show just more of that? I want to see more of like the actual thing. Also, then we pan over to Juan and Robin, and they're walking in their neighborhood. And they see a dead snake on the road, and I think they're trying to force the idea that they have chemistry, but they don't. Which kills me, because for someone who says they don't care, you are trying awfully hard to change how we look at you. I don't like this force. So Juan has made a third appearance. Juan's about to be a house husband, isn't he? He's finally going to be a house husband this season. He's made more appearances than all the other husbands on this show this season. I guess you're going to help your wife earn her paycheck because you ain't got no job. Yes, I'm staying on their neck about that, because it's like, it's season 8, and this is probably the most appearance I've ever seen you make out of all the seasons you've been on this show, and you've been on the show since the beginning. Interesting. Anyway, then we see Giselle with Grace shopping for college. I love seeing these things because I like seeing Giselle be herself. Not this put on in everyone's business thing. I like it when she's with her kids. Now, a lot of people probably don't, because she's kind of boring, but yeah, Giselle's kind of boring, actually. Robin, and that's probably why Robin and Giselle get along so well, because in real life, they seem super boring unless they're in someone else's business. And that's why they're always in other people's business, because without that, they don't really have nothing to talk about. There's nothing for them to do. So this truce that, so harking back to the truce that Robin and Karen have, I don't know how long that's going to last, because it's just kind of like, without them being in other people's business, that means we're going to be in your business, but Giselle don't really have any business, and Robin's business is a hot mess, and clearly she doesn't want us in that. This season, we're forced to be in it, because it was probably you either address all the things you've been hiding or you're fired. That's probably how that happened. And you're not gonna, they get paid pretty well as housewives, especially since this is like their 8th season. That's a big paycheck. So I see why now you're sharing, but you're sharing it out of force, not because you naturally were sharing. So anyway. Next, we're with Wendy's family, and Wendy's discussing her children's first communion coming up, and then we see a cute picture of Wendy when she was 7, and she had her first communion along with her Catholic upbringing with her parents. And we find out that the reason why her parents divorced is because actually her dad was a priest or pastor, but he was like a Protestant pastor, not a Catholic pastor. And apparently her mom's side are very, very Catholic. So we're really pushing this Catholic thing, and it makes sense towards the end of the episode of why. And the breadcrumbs of this, started, the first episode. But anyway, so we find this out, and then the kids actually rehearsed them getting their first communion. It was super cute. They had their outfits on that they were going to wear, like a dress rehearsal, if you will. And it was super cute. And it just kind of reminded me when I was Lutheran. I'm not anymore, but I was, raised Lutheran. And when I got confirmed, because we don't do we have a first communion, but it's during our confirmation. And our confirmation isn't until your confirmation isn't until you're in 8th grade. For me, it was in 8th grade. I don't know if it's like that for all Lutheran denominations, but the denomination I was in, it was not until you were in 8th grade where you took communion. And I remember it was a whole thing where you did the Bible studies and all that, and then you had your dress rehearsal before the church, getting ready to do it, and then you did it. It was like a whole big deal. So I kind of thought about that when I was watching this. I was like, "Aw." Wearing all white, because you wear white when you do that for the first time. And I get it. But anyway, so the kids get dismissed, and Eddie and her are talking about how she called Mia slow, and Mia's being a victim. Also, sorry. So she's talking to Eddie about who she invited. She invited Ashley, Candace, and Karen. She also mentions the conversation that she had with Ashley about Nneka, and how Nneka stated something about the Uso thing, but we know that was all Ashley. Nneka didn't do that. Nneka just literally did the same thing Wendy did, just explaining what it was. Yeah. So we see here that Wendy adamantly believes that Nneka's spreading all this rumors. And yeah, that's interesting. Before I go into this thing, actually, so we get where Karen's tagline came from about her being the fence, because it actually made sense in context of what she was talking about, because Karen's trying to, always be the peacemaker, because that's what Karen does. She's a peacemaker. She always tries to bring the ladies together. And Karen's like, hey, I don't like, which is why she even brought up the whole thing with Mia and Wendy. And, Mia's like, yeah, you're always going to ride that fence. Then Karen's like, no, I am the fence. Like, you guys like to ride me. I'm the fence. Like, basically stating, I refuse to pick a side. So in this context, it made all the sense in the world. But this is where her tagline came from. So they did what they did back in like the seasons past with the Real Housewives of OC, where they take what you said from the show and put it as a tagline. So that was where her tagline came from. They don't really do that as much anymore, but so now I understood where it came from. I'm like, okay, got it. She didn't actually do a tagline. She instead just, it just came from what she said in one of the episodes. But that's where it came from. Next, we have Candace and Wendy meeting up. And before we get into the scene, what I love about this franchise and why I really want to review it is because I love when they do the montage of the scenery of the actual cities, the DMV area, because it's, it's multiple cities that it could be in when they're doing their scenes. Because even though this is Potomac, it's really anything along the Potomac River. So sometimes the scene will be in DC, sometimes the scene will be in Baltimore. It's like that, and I love that. And it makes me actually really want to visit the DMV area next year, and I'm almost positive I'm going to. I'm going to find a reason to do it. Not really for a run or anything. I think I'm just going to do it just to do it because I just love that area. I love that side of the country. And if it was way more affordable, I would live over there. Quiet as kept. But it's not. So there's that. But anyway, so we find out from Candace after they start talking that she had 2 shows in LA during Ashley's party. We also then do meet the new girl, Keiana, who's Wendy's friend, and she meets the ladies, and we actually find out that her friend was in another episode. She was at Wendy's wine event that she had 2 years ago. I can't remember. I don't think it was last season though. I think it was the season before that where she had this event. But anyway, we see that. And we find out that she's a boss, she's a spa owner. And so she just walked from the spa that they were just at, or she was just at, and they were just at this restaurant, I guess a couple doors down or whatever. And I like her. I like her energy immediately. And I guess she's one of the friends of. I don't know how long she's going to be. we don't have a picture of her as a friend of, because of there was like a conflict of, well, it wasn't a conflict. There was something that happened during the season. I don't know if it's going to air or not, so I'm not going to say too much, but there was an altercation that occurred, and she was part of the altercation. And so she was actually at the hospital when they were doing like their photo shoot for like what you see, what I put on the thumbnail and stuff typically. So yeah, that's why we don't have a friend of picture of her. But I still don't know if she's going to be considered a true friend of or not because of what happened with the altercation. I'm going to reserve saying anything about it too much because I don't know if it's going to air out on the show later on or not. But this is one of those oh, and by the way, I should have just said, I'm going to say it and put it in here later. But this is definitely a spoiler alert. But I just kind of wanted to explain, I don't know if she's officially a friend of or not because of that. So yeah. Anyway, I do like her though. I like her energy. And they discuss Ashley's event. Wendy mentions the Ashley and Nneka thing, what Ashley said to Wendy about Nneka and what she said about her family. And Candace, like the good sis she is, which is why I love her. First of all, when they mentioned Ashley, Wendy said our friend, and Candace quickly corrected her. She said, your friend. That ain't my friend. And I'm like, yes, keep that energy. Keep it, keep it, keep it. But Candace immediately sees a flag in the play. She's like, flag in the play, when Wendy explains what happened. And she's like, did this information come from Nneka or did it come from Ashley? And Wendy's like, Ashley said this to me. And I'm just kind of like, and then Wendy continues to say to Keiana that she really wants Candace and Ashley to be friends again. And I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh, Wendy. Girl, stop trying to make fetch happen. Stop it. Candace is finally in the right page of how she views these ladies, and she needs to stay where she's at, how she views these ladies. Her approach is 1,000% correct. Because honestly, I will say this too. As much as I love Candace, I love her down. I'm hoping she does after this season, maybe one more season and parlay out of this show, because you don't want this show to drag your true career that you're going for down. Because some of these ladies ain't got nothing else going on, so they're going to do everything possible to try to drag you down with them. I.e. the Mias of the world, or like the Ashleys of the world. The show is all they got. You have a flourishing career in music and in acting, because you also have a show that you're on outside of this show. Don't let the show drag you down now. And so the way Candace has been approaching things is definitely correct. And I don't know if she hired someone from PR to help her out with that. But no, Wendy, stop it. And so anyway, as this is happening, Candace is just like, as soon as she says that Ashley's the one who told her, she's like, girl, when are you gonna learn? Ashley just loves mess. Speaking of Ashley, we do then see Karen and Ashley walking to this store to get styled for the communion. And Karen actually gets a bug bite on her way into the store, and it bit her right in the face. She actually had a mark. It was like, yikes. I hate when it happens. But yeah, definitely happened. And Karen asks Ashley how she feels about seeing, so while they're getting, ready to go, because by the way, there is a dress code when it comes to this brunch, because we find out that Wendy invited them to the brunch after the first communion. Not necessarily the first communion, which is fair. I'm glad they did that. Because the first communion was clearly going to be with family and like friends. But I don't, it seemed like, yeah, but that's what happened there. But anyway, but the dress code is Wendy's wearing white. And the children who were having community, they're wearing white. And I explained that kind of when I was sharing what happened when I had my first communion. You wear white. And then the guests wear yellow. So they were looking for yellow dresses, basically. And so Karen then asked Ashley how she feels about seeing Candace at the event. Because this is going to be the first time they've seen each other since the reunion. And she shares that it was strange also at Ashley's party that no one mentioned Candace. And then we pan over to Karen and Candace having a scene prior to, and Candace is like, no, I prefer them not to mention me. And in the confessional, Karen's like, She called the play. She's like, this is icing out a B101. They are trying to ice her out. And yeah, they've been trying to ice her out. Like, it's like, thank you. I love Karen. I love her confessionals. But sometimes she just states it over obvious. And it's just like, they've been trying to ice Candace out ever since they got rid of Monique. They only used Candace to get rid of Monique, and now they're icing her out. They've been trying to do that. That's been a thing. But now they have Candace and Wendy that they have to try to ice out, and it's not working. Well, now they're trying to... Well, never mind. I'm just going to keep what I'm thinking to myself. But yeah. Anyway. So, Karen asked about the lawsuit. Ashley still is saying she don't know nothing about it. Karen calls out in the confessional that, like, this lawsuit's really dumb because he did that. I mean, she kind of said it in her own way that she's like, where's the lie in what Candace said? Because she was like, this lawsuit, he's suing Candace for $2 million, but she was like, this lawsuit's only worth like $2, not $2 million. Karen had me cracking up in the confessional of this episode. Karen was definitely the comedy relief that I needed this episode. I might just go back to watch it just because when Karen is on her confessional, she is on. She be cracking me up with her confessionals. Her shade is just shade assassin. Anyway, so Karen states what took place when she met up with Mia to Ashley. So leading up to that, as she's talking about it, Karen mentions the slow comment that Wendy said about Mia, and Ashley cracked up. She thought it was funny, like immediately, just started laughing. And then Karen, being the empathetic woman she is like, well, I don't know if it's funny because then she shares that like her son has like a learning disability, which is not a learning disability. It's just he has issues with reading. And so then Ashley in her confessional shades the crap out of Mia. She's like, man, and I agree. This is where I actually agree with Ashley. Ashley's like, Mia will make a molehill into a mountain about everything. When she finds it's the one thing, she's going to hang on to that and use that just to make it where it's not, she ain't wrong anymore. And this is where I kind of view Ashley slightly differently here. And this is what I've learned just from watching this, seeing this little interaction when it pertains to Mia. Mia's not part of that group, that core group. Even though Mia's trying her behind to be that group, it's clear she's not. it's really just Ashley, Robin, and Giselle. And then really, if Karen wouldn't ride the fence the way if Karen wasn't the fence, she would also be part of that group. But Karen just won't do that because that's not her thing. Like, so Mia thinking her mean girl behavior is paying off. It's not, because it's very clear that Ashley don't see it for Mia, actually. And it seems like if it wasn't for this show, Ashley probably would be cool with Wendy over Mia. And it's pretty clear that she actually would rather be cool with Wendy over Mia. Because Wendy is a I don't know if it's because maybe Ashley sees too much of herself in Mia, so she's a little triggered there. But because Mia's kind of almost like a not intelligent version of Ashley. Because Ashley's strategic and smart as all get out, but also the way she moves is pretty, trashy. I don't know how else to say it. But anyway, so they talk about that, and then Ashley does confess to Karen about what she did as far as the Wendy thing is concerned. But she did it in the Ashley way that she does it. She didn't really confess all the way, but Karen read in between the lines. She's like, you started some mess, didn't you? And so that's how she owned it. It's like, yeah, I kind of messed up. So it seems like Ashley's trying to clean up what she did, but it's too late now, I feel like. And maybe it wasn't. I don't know. We'll see. And I'll explain towards the end of the episode. You'll understand why I'll say that. But yeah. So next, we finally have the children's first communion. They actually pan a little bit, and you get to see the girls. You see the two boys and her daughter have that communion. It was beautiful. And then they're at the brunch with Wendy's family. Wendy's family, by the way, is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people. And then Karen and Candace both show up looking gorgeous, and they have a seat. And Wendy's mom's like, Mia's not going to be here, is she? And just shades her. Clears her. And the way Karen and Candace just like, she did not. And they're like, cleared. And clearly Mia's not going to be there because she was not invited. And also, but this is planting another seed, and you don't know it's planting a seed. This is planting a seed because in a way, Wendy's mom is like, I feel like the ninth housewife, because there's 8 of them, I think, right? Yeah, there's a lot of them. They have a lot of housewives this season. It's a lot of women. But yeah, I think she's like the 9th housewife, 8th or 9th housewife, because there's a lot of them. But anyway, because the way she cleared her and then just walked away and went back to her business, I was like, I did laugh. So then, Keiana appears, then Ashley, who still finds a way to dress inappropriate. So they went to the stylist thing in order for her not to be dressed inappropriate, and she still is dressed inappropriate. So her boobs are all the way out. And I'm like, this is a religious Christian event. Cover it up. Cover it up, lady. I know you are excited you got your new girls. Half of the women at that table have new girls. Okay? And they have covered it up. You can do the same. But in the previous scene, even Karen mentioned she don't know how to dress, and not be dressing like she's going to the club. That is Ashley's style. Ashley's style, she always dressing like she's going to the club. No matter what the occasion is, she's always showing some skin, dressing like she's going to the club. And it's like, girl, you have a nice body. I get it. You don't have to dress like that all the time. But anyway. So then Candace shades her in the confessional about it. And then awkwardly, Ashley decides to sit next to Candace. And then they're both just kind of just sitting there. But then they do state the elephant in the room because Karen's like, elephant in the room. And, and Candace is like, hey, we can be in the same room and be cordial. I don't have a problem with being cordial towards her. And I don't have a problem with being in the same room as her. And then Ashley's like, same. And that's it. That was all. That was it. And then Karen then uses this opportunity to invite the ladies to a pickleball event that she wants to throw and put together. Because I guess Karen's thing this season is she's just going to keep trying new things to be active because of, I think that's her storyline. So then we see that Ashley addresses the Usu. By the way, if I'm enunciating any of the Nigerian terms wrong, please forgive me. Because I know even though I might have like African lineage, due to the obvious, I don't know the culture like that. So charge it to my head, not my heart. And I already mentioned before, phonics is not a strong suit. So there's that. Anyway, so she's addressing this to Wendy in front of everyone. And she basically apologizes and kind of tap dances saying that Nneka didn't really say that. And then Wendy's like, but you said that she said this, that, and this. And she's like, no, she didn't really say that. Her Ashley way with her smile and all that. And Karen and Candace's look on their face was priceless because Karen's like, oh, God. And then Candace is like, and in the Candace confession, Panther confession is like, I told you so. I told you so. The reason why her forehead's so big is because it's full of lies. She's just a liar. She lies. And I was like, I'm sorry, I cackled. I was like, Candace. Candace is always quick. So after that, they just move on. That's pretty much how that concludes. While this is happening, because this is also kind of the final scene, but while this is happening with the final scene, we actually see that Robin and Nneka are meeting up for lunch. And Robin asks if she's met Wendy before, and she states that she has multiple times, which is weird because it's the opposite of what Wendy said. Wendy said that she's met her in passing. And I'm sorry, I might be believing Wendy more. Because to me, when someone says they met you before, they have had to have a full conversation with you and say hi and everything else. And it sounds like from even what Nneka said, there was no full conversation. They just were at two events together. That's still meeting in passing. And so Robin is twisting it to make it seem like, well, that's not what Wendy made it seem like. And Wendy's but we know that when we already know Robin cannot stand Wendy. She's been trying to get Wendy off. Her and Giselle been trying to get Wendy off the show since Wendy cleared them both. And they had nothing to say and they were stuck on dumb. So that's what it is. But anyway, so Nneka then continues to state that her family's been attacked by Wendy's mom and like her family. Because we also find out that Wendy's sister used to be or is good friends with Nneka's cousin. So they know of each other and they're intertwined kind of in that way. Which I don't know now. Because I'm thinking I wanted to believe Wendy, but that might be just my bias because I like Wendy. I don't know yet. And so I don't really know now. I don't know. But I have a hard time believing someone who is fighting for a champagne flute. It's your first season, so you're looking for a moment. So it's hard for me to believe Nneka because you're coming in new to the scene and you've already shown little inklings that you kind of can't be trusted. Because you let all these women say your name wrong. Like you seem like a pick-me. So basically at the end, though, we do see that Nneka is stirring the pot and saying all this stuff about how, and she basically says that Wendy's mom has a shrine. And you know what? And then Wendy, and then basically Robin takes it and runs with it and says voodoo. When none of that was said, all was said is that she has some type of a shrine. And I'm kind of irritated here because Wendy has stated that they are very Catholic. I'm not sure if that's a shrine. That really could be, she has multiple different and I'm not as versed in Catholicism because have a Lutheran background, aka Catholic Light. The first that broke away from the Catholic Church back in the day. And we don't have different saints and stuff like that in Catholicism. In being a Protestant, being Lutheran, we don't have that. But I know in Catholic and Catholicism, y'all do. Y'all have the different saints. So this may be more of a question than a fact. But don't you have different... I don't know if Nigerian culture and the way they do Catholicism, is it similar to how Latin culture does Catholicism? Where you have the different saints, you have the different candles and all that. Because if that's the case, that is not a shrine. That's just different prayer type of ritual things that you have in Catholicism. That's not the same. So to me, it seems like maybe that's what Wendy's mom meant. I don't know. I just find that really kind of tacky and kind of messed up that you're going to put bad on someone as far as saying someone's doing voodoo, and voodoo's not even bad, and hoodoo's not even bad. I don't like this direction of talking about religion in a messed up way. I don't like it. And I also don't like that you're talking about someone's mama. But we also saw the seeds planted, and it is kind of obvious, and we already knew this about Wendy's mom. Wendy's mom, she's extra. She's very extra. She's very over the top. And if you talk bad about her daughter, she goes in on you. And so I'm a little confused. And so I don't know if behind the scenes maybe because what Nneka said to Robin also is that Wendy's mom was accusing, Wendy's mom or sister, I forgot which one it was accusing her of trying to get in on this group, basically trying to get on the show. And maybe they were telling the truth and you didn't like what you heard. Because honestly, if I was in the position to try to get on the Real Housewives, and I really wanted to be on the show, I don't want to be on the reality show. Let's say that real quick, because I don't want fame like that. But if you wanted to, because it's a good coin. You make good money being on the show. Probably after your second or third season of being on the show, but you make really, really good money being on the show. So yeah, there's a lot of women that are trying to go on this show. So it sounds like they were just calling you out and you didn't like being called out. I don't know. I just don't like how it ended, but this is how it ended. So we're finding out now that Ashley kind of planted the seed, but she kind of didn't, because she retracted it as soon as she did it. It seems like Nneka behind the scenes was already trying to plant a seed. And it is giving what I said and kind of what I thought about her in the first episode. I was like, she's coming off a little pick-me. And I don't like that. Why do that? I mean, I get why you would do it, but it's just yucky. It's nasty behavior. But yeah, so we do actually see previews for the next episode, and Wendy and Nneka do go at it, which I don't like it. I don't like any of this. I want my two Nigerian sisters If you know where that comes from, shout them out in the comments. But it's from someone, a fellow YouTuber, and an amazing person. But it's just like, I don't like that they're beefing. I don't like this. I don't like it. And it seems like maybe Ashley's like, I don't really want to do this. So she pulled out of the assignment of doing this. So Robin's taking on the assignment. Because, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just don't like it. I really hope that this doesn't last multiple episodes. It probably is going to, but I want it to hopefully be something where they deal with it, they resolve it, and then that's that on that, because I don't really want to see this on my screen. Anyway, that does conclude the review, though. This for the Real Housewives of Potomac. And yeah, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and I will see you next time. Bye.